All right. In today's episode, I'm interviewing Liang Yen Ching, who is the founder of the Japan Design Cloud community, as well as a UX designer for upcoming startup. Liang, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually met at the Product Tank event a few months ago,
Yeah.
and we had a really great discussion about, just design and like your guys' perspective on the design team. And that's why I kind of wanted to get you on this show. So, but before we get into all of that, I'd really like to start off with talking about your journey into UI UX design. And especially from, you have a background in industrial design, is that correct? Can you walk us through
Yeah.
that?
Okay. So I studied university in back in Taiwan. So because I really love to create things like furniture, the wooden crafts, DIY. So that's why I choose the industrial design. But I don't have a background for UI UX. And after graduated from the university, my first job was design the computer. So this is my first job, and all the work, the designer, the coworker is really nice, and we have a really good communication to each other. But the computer, after 3.5 years, I found out is a little bit bored for me because all the computer looks really, really similar.
Mm,
And our boss, CEO, he want us to create like the product looks like Mac Pro is really
uh,
simple and the design is really like modern, but
mhm,
it's hard to make a lot of changes. As a designer, it kind of bored. So
mhm,
I quit my job and I changed to transfer the from industrial designer to interior designer.
mm,
So I work as an interior designer for 5 years in Taiwan.
mhm.
And after I moved to Japan in 2018, I still work as an interior designer for 2 years. And at that moment, I already can speak in Japanese.
Mm,
And as an interior designer, I need to communicate with the workers, the client,
mhm.
and everything is in Japanese, which is very, very difficult for me at that
Yes.
time. It's really, really hard, and I need to talk on the phone, talk to the client, discuss the with client to meet their needs. So at that moment, 2 years, I was like really struggle, and I don't know is that right or not. I was bullied by the boss, our interior
Mm,
design boss. So because of the Japanese
mhm,
skill
mhm.
and a lot of things. And the workload is like working in Japan's architecture fields industry is like crazy. The work hour is like 8 to 10 every day. And yeah, it's like crazy. You also need to work like on the weekend. So
Oh
after two
my God.
years, and at that moment, also the pandemic happened. So I was considered maybe I have an other like career path, another choice. So I decided to find a job which can work from home
Mm,
and yeah, and allowed me to come back to Taiwan by time like for 1 month or 2 months to take care of my family.
mhm,
So I started to thinking about okay, as an interior designer, I can draw the blueprint. I have a good skill to communicate with
mhm,
client
mhm,
to know what's their needs and what they want for their house. So I
mhm,
changed the house to the product, digital product,
mm,
just like this. So I found out there's a position called UI UX designer, which I never heard before. So I
mm,
started to look for what do I need any skill for fit to this position.
mhm,
So which is two
mhm,
to 3 years ago. So I started to learned self-study. I took the online lesson and to about 3 months. And some of my friend told me if I want to become a good UI UX designer, I need to learn coding, like engineer, like front end
Mm,
engineers. So
mhm.
I also take the front end lesson for almost half year.
Okay.
So my first job, actually, it was web designer.
Mm,
That means in Japan, if you call yourself a web designer, it means that you need to coding like front end. You need to communicate with client. You need to do the UX design. You need to do the UI design, graphic design, banners, advertisement. You also need to code and maintain the whole website, which is a lot. So I want to find the job is can different from architecture, industrial. Is not that the workload is okay, like work
mhm,
life balance. But
mhm,
as a web designer, I
mm,
can feel the joy of the life. I work as much as I was a interior designer.
mm,
So I was considered that wow, it's too much. It's not the
mm,
life I want. So I decided to change to the in-house company, which I can focus on UI UX designer, UI
mhm,
UX design. I don't need to worry about the graphic design, the
mhm.
advertisement, and I don't need to code as a
Mhm.
front-end engineer.
I see.
At that moment, I can focus on UX and UI and UX research. And last November, I changed to the a company. We're doing the AI education,
Mm.
and I was the very first UI UX designer, have been hired last November. So yeah, a lot of challenge going on.
Sounds like it. It sounds like it. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of obviously a lot of transferable skills from being an industrial designer, interior designer to UI UX designer, right? How do you feel your background in those fields help you now with obviously being a UI UX designer in software?
So I think my advantage about all the transfer is that I have a good skill to communicate with the clients
Mm,
and to listening what they need and implement their needs to the real realities. So, for
hmm
example, what kind of style they want, what kind of needs they want, what kind of decoration they want, I listen, I think, I plan, and I implement. So I
mm.
think listening is my one of my advantage.
That's very, very important with many aspects of life and communication in general, right? Like we need to be able to listen in order to get things done. Communication is a two-way street, and UI UX designers, product managers, entrepreneurs all need that skill. And it's not
Yeah.
something we're taught. It's kind of something that we have to learn as we go. Same thing though with UI UX design. In our last conversation, we actually spoke about this and the fact that UI UX design at the time when you were in school wasn't an option, right? Is it still like that?
Yeah. So, back to I'm a high school student.
Mm,
I never heard of UI UX design, so it's not an option for me to major in UI UX design.
hmm
Back that time, we only have a graphic design, like media design, digital
hmm
design, but no UI UX design. So I think nowadays, a lot of UI UX designer, their background is not like major in UI UX design.
hmm
Some of them come from the graphic design, interior design,
hmm
even industrial design. So I think that's a good thing. Like with a different variable background, it
hmm
can make the product more easy to use and from different aspect. from different fields. But now it's became more and more popular, this
Yeah.
position. So
Yeah, hopefully it gets taught even younger. I'm thinking, it should be taught in high school, design as, in general, right? We obviously have art class, but that tends to be like even taken out of school curriculums and stuff because it's seen as like, oh, not a necessary subject, but it is super necessary for a role like being a UI UX designer, being an interior designer, being an architect, right?
sure, sure.
So yeah, hopefully as things progress, we need more people like yourself to learn earlier in life, right? Same thing with product managers. I've talked to many, many
Yeah.
product managers, and they kind of fall into the career. They start off in business or they start off in tech, and then it's like a natural progression towards product management. Why do you think some of these positions like UI UX design, product management, project management sometimes, why are they not taught in schools? Why do you think that is?
Good question for this one. I think because communication can not be taught
Mm,
if we without the practice, without the daily practice, it's really hard to learn how to communicate. Maybe
mhm.
school will teach you some skill, but without practice, you cannot master this skill. So I think a lot of good UI UX designer and product manager, you need to like work for a long time in order to achieve some level like people are really happy to work with you,
Yeah.
and so it's all needs the real experience at the company.
That's right. And I think, especially for product management and like, those type of situations, it highly dependent on the product you're building and the team dynamics and how many stakeholders there are, right?
Yeah.
In your current startup, like what are some of the stakeholders that you're currently dealing with? Is it just the internal team? Are you actually communicating with customers? How does that work?
So most of the time I was work internally, like with the product team, with the
Mm.
PM, product manager, with the develop team and
Hmm.
engineer. But recently, like from April, I
Hmm.
was assigned for research team.
Mm.
So I need to also work with the sales
Mm.
and some language expert. The expert will like know how to improve your English, how to
I
learn
see.
English more efficiently. So I need to work with the expert and the sales and PM and other stakeholder. So as long as I am a only designer, I kind of don't have time to do the user interview
I
into the
see.
school or observe the users how they connect with the
Mm.
product. So I only do the once, but the time was limited. So
Mm.
I more like focused work with the product team internally.
In in an ideal situation, what would, I guess, the communication look like for you as like, let's say, the lead designer in a team? How would you want that communication to look like?
The designer not only design for the visual design nowadays, so I will hope the company will invite me to discuss the business model at the like really first when company want to build some product. When designer know the business model or blueprint, the roadmap, and discuss the roadmap, the new feature, how to do the new feature, and what the customer needs for the new feature. So I think at the very beginner of the business model, the designer should join, not
Mm,
only for the after CEO or marketing, the PM, after they decided what kind of the future we need to build in the future, then after that, then invite the designer is too slow. You need to put designer into the first at the very first step. That's
mm,
why I want to tell every company's CEO like put designer to in the whole step progress, not
right.
only for the interface design.
Well, that's what yeah, I think you're right. I think that when you're designing a flow, designing a process, you should be there at the beginning, right? And get all that understanding from all the stakeholders, not just, hearing it from the PM when it comes to you and saying,
Yeah,
oh, this is what was said in the meeting, because a lot gets lost in translation. Same thing with designers potentially and other members who don't get to speak to customers. They only go through the PM. The PM is
yeah.
kind of like the person who only speaks to them, or it could be the sales team or other things. So I think you're right. When you're there, you need to be designing with the rest of the team. What happens when you don't get that, I guess initial inputs. Mm.
Yeah, it's very difficult to design the product, the new feature without user interview because with the internal discussion, the brainstorming, all this perspective is from PM, designer, from the marketing teams. So all these needs, do we meet the needs that
Mhm.
actual target want? So after business model, like sales will say, oh, I think this new product will be a good sales. Like there must a lot of people, a lot of target want this kind of product. But you don't know, you never know. You just assume they will like. So I think after consider about the business model, after that you need to do the user interview immediately
Mhm.
before the design. So
Mhm.
after user interview, like for even if only 10 people, it's worth it because you spend a lot of time to design the wireframe, prototype, mock-up.
Mhm.
Without the user interview, it's just the product we like, the company like, but
Exactly.
no user like. So we need to do as fast as possible.
Yeah. And that's a common mistake that a lot of startup founders make as well. They think they have the idea, but then yes, they build something not anyone wants, and then they end up failing, and that's why 9 out of 10 companies fail, right? So
Yeah.
I could definitely see that being a crucial point. Now, I wanted to ask you just really quickly before we go into the next topic, what are the specific differences between designing a hardware product versus a software product?
Being a interior design, you need to work with a lot of workers, like electric, the wooden carpet, the pending, the water system, internet system, everything you need to know, but you cannot know everything because
Mm,
time is limited. So you need to cooperate with the expert and to know how to fix this problem. So as a UI UX designer, you discuss with the PM, you will discuss with the dev team, but the stakeholder is not as much as interior designer. So I think the biggest change is like as a interior design, you are more like designer and the PM, like do the both
together.
the two things at the same time.
Wow.
So I think interior design is more like if you don't understand, if you don't know the whole things, you need to admit, okay, teach me. I really don't know how to, for example, how to make this furniture
Mm,
and how long you need. You need to admit that you don't know everything and discuss consequently, like frequently to discuss with the workers.
mm,
So yeah, I think interior designer and the UI UX designer, the biggest difference is that you need to like communicate more.
right. I would also think as well, like, in software you have sprints. Where it's every 2 weeks you're
Yeah,
doing releasing new things, right? It's much
yeah,
quicker cycle. Whereas, I don't know, maybe in interior design, it's kind of like a project and it's like, okay, here's this. Is this all right?
yeah,
That's just my assumption, like, because you can't really release things quickly
yeah.
in like hardware products. Is that right? Would you say that?
Yeah, it's really difficult to change the design during the construction progress.
Yeah.
So you kind of like not the Scrum. As an
Yeah.
interior design, more like waterfall, like
Oh,
you
yes.
do this, a lot of step. You
Yeah.
complete all the step by step.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to change the design like in the middle of the progress. So as an interior design, you more like to confront every task
Mm.
very carefully, like
Yeah.
clarify the task with
Yeah.
client, with the workers, and very conscious.
Mm.
So it's no room for mistake. It's not like
Mm.
the software, like the digital product. You can change like very quick, like change the code, can change the color. But as a hardware, the interior design, it's really hard to change because it costs money.
Yes.
If you make mistake, you cost a lot of money and you
Yeah.
cannot delay. It's no
Mm.
tolerate for delay. You need to pay
Mm.
for the delay. For maybe you delay 1 day, you need to pay, I don't know, 1 million per day. You delayed
Yeah.
1 week, you need to pay for like 5 million per week
Oh,
because
wow.
there's some restaurant need to open like on time. If you delay, there's money you need to find.
Wow, that is definitely different. Yeah, that's why, software is super scalable, hardware stuff not so much, right? Unless you've got unlimited money in the bank. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
think also it allows you to be more creative as well because you can try new things quicker, right? In
Yes,
software.
yes.
You can iterate a lot faster and that it's probably best for designers who have a very creative mind. They're like, "Oh, this didn't work. Let's try this and this and this," right?
Yeah,
So,
iterate.
it's so cool, so cool. Yeah, well, it sounds like you are super happy in this new career of
Yeah.
yours, you know?
I
It
really
sounds
enjoy the this position as a UI UX design.
That's great. That's great to hear. Now, I want to switch gears and talk about, AI and how you think it's going to affect, your career because, you see these tools like Canva has this ability where you can just prompt to and get a design. There's, all these AI agents that you can tell it what you want it to do to your website and it will do everything for you. How do you see AI impacting the UI UX industry either positively or negatively?
So for me, it's positively and just like on this Monday, I just create a application, web application for 3 days, and I complete the
Mm,
whole web application, and I release and ask my friend to do the tax, the MVP product, and
mhm,
we do the task, and we iterate and we improve. Only 1 week, I built the product. It's not perfect. It's just MVP. The detail
mhm,
I didn't really
mhm.
see the detail right now or tune the detail, but it's an MVP. I can test in one
Mhm,
week, so it's definitely a huge impact for me to using the AI. So you can assume AI as a sword, armor. You
mhm,
can use this and make you more stronger.
mhm,
And but also without the practice, you can become the master of
mhm,
any field. So for example, take my company as an example. My job responsibilities are UI design and UX design. But after April, my company asked me to do the UX research
mm,
job for the company, which I have some experiences, but after all, I'm not the UX researchers. So I cooperate with AI, and the
mhm,
AI did the 40% of the job for me,
mm,
and it's enough at this moment. It's enough for the startup.
mhm,
It's meet the needs for the startup.
mm,
So in that case, we don't need to hire one more employee. Like we
mm,
don't need to hire one more UX research because AI already fixed the problem for us.
mhm,
So I think some junior basic task can fix by AI.
mm,
So my concern is that maybe some junior designer might be replaced if they
mm.
don't use AI properly.
Mm,
So yeah, this is the issue we need to face. But it's really good for the startup. We don't have a lot of budget, but we
right.
need some people to do the research job. Then we use
Mm.
AI and we save money.
So if AI, for example, can replace a bunch of, junior designers, let's say you have a bunch of people who graduate design degrees and they want to get into UI UX design. If AI is replacing all the jobs that they could fill, how are we going to get people into the, senior level? Like what do you think is the path to that?
Mm, okay, assume I am a startup boss. I just establish a new business. Will I hire someone is very junior? Wow.
Probably not,
Okay,
right? Yeah.
okay, let me make some example. If you assign a task to AI and AI give you some output. Also, you assign some task to junior designer and also junior designer give me some output. AI needs 10 minutes to do
Mhm.
all the output. But junior designer, he or
Mm.
she might need 1 week to
Yeah.
give me output. So what's the value of junior designer? What's the contribution they can give company? I
Hmm.
think it's implement. The junior designer can implement and it can communicate with other
Hmm.
department.
Mm.
And maybe they can give me some emotion value. Like
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
as a human, you always need emotion value
Yes.
from other people. But back to the question, I might don't hire the junior designer for me.
Yes.
Yeah, I will use AI because the budget is limited. So how graduated students improve their emotion value, their communication skill, implement skill.
Mm.
It's very important.
Yeah, you do bring up a good point about that emotional part. I don't think even until we reach AGI, AI is really going to understand what it means to be human. And
Yeah.
I don't, it kind of understands emotions, but not to the level that it will be like a human being. So I always think creatively and emotionally, AI won't be like a human, right? Because we can see what AI is doing as a human and kind of critique it and do things like that because we're coming from our human perspective. But I think AI will always have limitations in those type of things. Now, what do we do to get people up to speed to leapfrog to those senior level positions, right? I don't know. I think that maybe we should be teaching potential designers how to use this type of technology and become masters at it so that they can come in and start, contributing right away, somehow, some way. Because I think AI will need people that know how to use it properly. What do you think?
So the people who can use AI will survive
Hmm.
because they will uh like they will have multiple choice. Like you can choose the sword today, you can
Hmm.
have the gum today. There's so many choices you can choose. But the designer who cannot use AI will like you fight with your bare hand. So you
Hmm.
cannot defeat the people who have the sword, the
Yep.
people who have the gun. You will lose like
Hmm.
dramatically, you will like
Right.
really bad. So I think you need to teach the new graduate student how to use AI just during the education. I believe
Hmm.
nowadays university like a lot of school university already like teaching the AI like how to
Good.
use the AI.
Good. Yeah. The only problem is though, it keeps changing rapidly, right? Like this,
Yeah.
new features get released all the time, and it's like everything we learned 6 months ago is now obsolete or is different, right? So I think that it needs to be ongoing education. We should actually look at how we educate people, in this new era of AI. There's a great debate. starting to arise. It's like, is college even necessary now? Because at any point I can actually learn anything I want instantly. I can get an answer for something. I can do research instantly. I can do things instantly now because this thing is smarter than 100 or 1,000 people. So how do you see, I guess, education moving towards in the future? What do you see it moving towards in the future? Do you think it'll be more so towards the creativity aspect, or do you think it'll be more so towards AI?
Okay, so I read some article that the AI school already exists in America in
Mm,
some states. Like they only use the AI as a teacher, and the human being will be the supporter for the
hmm
student. So it's already like exist. So
Oh
we
boy.
cannot avoid to it will increase in the
hmm
future, the AI school. So how human can do for that? For my perspective, nowadays, only the really, really smart student can take this kind of AI lesson, like
hmm
really smart, intelligent student, because they know how to digest the information. They
hmm
know how to, after the input, they know how to digest and output. They need
hmm
to know how to practice after knowing all the knowledge, all the skill they learn from AI. So
hmm
they can digest and using this knowledge to real life. They need
hmm
to, they know how to. But a lot of students, like 80% of the student, they don't know how to practice, how
Yep.
to output. They
hmm
only need input. They need to practice. You need to know how to uh, make the knowledge to your real life, the step by step. The
Yep.
smart student know how to do this, but the normal, like regular student, you need teach you to hold your hand to practice with me. We can do this one, step one, two, three, four, five. They need exam. They
hmm
need task to test how they learned, how they digest all the information. So
hmm
for now, for my perspective, the smart student, like really top the 3% of the student, they can use the AI
Yep.
to finish their university, even the elementary school. But it's really few people can do this kind of lesson. Not everyone, not everyone.
It's really, really tough, right? You know, I think you're right. The people that will be most successful is the ones that could actually use AI to connect various dots. They see things from a higher level potentially. Like, okay, I can learn this quickly and connect it with this type of thing over here and see things in a way that's going to provide value, like an output to the rest of the world, right? Because when you have so much information, our brains are only capable of intaking so much. Maybe the 80/20 rule will come in here in the sense that 80% of the value will come through 20% of the work or something like that.
Also, the emotion value.
Mm,
Some students know, okay, I learned this because it will be useful in the future for
hmm
my career. Some student
Yep.
will think it in that way, but some student only do the homework because of the teacher. I
Yes,
don't want the teacher
that's true.
Mary to get mad with me, so I need to finish the homework. But they didn't think that like long term.
Mhm.
They think in short term. So emotion value is the biggest advantage for the teachers,
I
I
do
think.
hope that I do hope that, we'll learn how to connect more with each other because even nowadays with the invention of the smartphone, you see everyone sometimes just like on their phones going like this, even when they're on a date or they're out with their families or stuff like that. Everyone's just on their phone, glued to their phone. And it
Yeah,
has had wide-reaching effects on society in terms of
yeah.
communication. In fields like UI, UX design and entrepreneurship and all those type things, right? We need to know how to connect with people, to talk to people, to understand how other people feel. And I feel that we're going down a direction where that's going to be even more difficult. So, how do you think we can learn to connect with each other more? How can we learn how to listen more to each other
If you want to learn how to communicate with people, first of all, you need to communicate with people every day. You need to
in person?
practice. in person, like
Yeah.
attend the meetup, join the community and
Mhm.
talk to people.
Mm.
So without the communication, you can just, it's one of my concern of AI. So AI will test the accessibility and build you really functional product.
Mhm.
Just like the big company for the like Uniqlo in
Mhm.
Japan is very famous like a fashion brand. So now Uniqlo is like worldwide.
Mhm.
Everyone wearing the Uniqlo, and also the food. You can eat Taiwanese food in Japan, and
Mhm.
you can know the trendy clothing in the movie.
Mhm.
So just like we can all ask AI the question and give the prompt, and AI
Mhm.
will give you the answer.
Mhm.
And 80% of the answer, I believe, will be the same. So, for
Mhm.
example, designer ask AI how to design the application for disability people.
Mhm. Mhm.
I ask in Japan with my AI, and some designer ask AI back in Africa, back to in the Greek. The
Mhm.
answer from AI will like almost the same, the similar.
Yeah.
So one of the concern will be that in the future, the digital product will like no personality.
Mm.
Like
Mhm.
80% of the digital product will be the same.
Mhm.
So is that good? I don't know, but it will like the fashion trendy,
Yeah.
the food you can eat almost every country's food in Japan, and
Mhm.
everyone wear the similar clothing.
Mhm.
So I don't know. It's just one of my concerns. It will get bored. Like every product will be the similar in the future.
Yes.
I believe like 10
Right.
years, like the material, the rule from Google, this button you need to like be 40 pixel times 40 pixel, and it was good for the user accessibility and
Mhm.
functional. The color is this one and this one. So yeah, the product just really similar.
Yeah, actually, you bring up a good point, and especially with AI. Like, there's only like three or four companies, major companies that everything's being built off of at the moment, such as ChatGPT, like Anthropic, Google, those type, Llama, those type things. So if they all become monopolized, right, and they set the rules for everything, you will have similar looking products, similar feel products, right? And that's just not unique. I think being able to connect with people, still sharing our values and sharing what we like as humans is ultimately going to be how we progress as a society, not just listening to these robots that are already shaping how we think and
Yeah.
feel and stuff. So, yes, exactly. You brought up
Yeah.
community, you brought up communicating, and one of the things that you have started is Japan Design Cloud. Can you tell us a little bit about that community?
Yeah, sure. So Japan Design Cloud, I was established in 2023. At that time, I was a UI UX designer for half year. So I don't have any designer friends.
Mhm.
And every time I got problem or I need to ask someone, there's no one I can ask.
Mhm.
So I just like, okay, I need to make some designer friend to discuss with each other to share my problem, maybe also say some shit to
Mhm.
in company, like complain
Yeah.
something the problem this designer will happen. So I
Mhm.
decided to establish a community for UI UX designer,
Mhm.
and there's some conditions like you need to be a UI UX designer, and you need to live in Japan, and
Mhm.
you need to understand Mandarin.
Okay.
So these conditions is not very easy to find the members because you need
Mhm.
to meet those three conditions. So after 2 years, I finally have to almost 200 members. They all meet these conditions, and they
Oh.
all a lot of them can speak like two or multiple language, like
Mm,
bilingual,
mm,
Japanese and English and Mandarin. So how did I find those members? I at the beginning I post the article to the different community design community,
mm,
and I attend tons of the design
mm,
event, like almost every week. I attend the event and to like promote my own community.
mm,
So, and also I, even at the beginning the member only have 5 or 10. I insisted that I will have online event
mm,
every month. Every
mm,
month I have online event. There's a thing I want to share, and I will prepare like uh the things I can teach, I can share. So
mm,
every month. Also, I have the offline event every 3 months. It will be like barbecue, karaoke, the year-end party, and picnic.
mm,
So all those events I hold, it helped me to it's like a advertisement. People
mm,
join, people feel happy, and
mm.
people will share this community with other people. So
Yep.
after 1.5 years, I found out I don't need to try that hard to find the new members, because the member will share this community to their friends because
Mhm,
it is useful. You can learn new skills from like
mhm,
design, the news from design, and you can make friends in
mhm,
the community. You can
mhm,
find the mentor who
mhm,
can teach you about your career path or the problem you want to solve. You can discuss with the members. So
mhm,
the community started to promote by itself. I don't need to
mhm.
try like really hard.
Right.
I just keep trying to do the offline event and online event and prepare every event. I take time. It's not just like, hi, it's online event. Let's chat. It's not,
Mm,
it's more than that. I prepare things to share, the knowledge, the skill. So I just keep doing. Then I believe maybe in 3 years I can make it bigger and bigger.
wow. First and foremost, I want to say that's incredible that you were able to build a community from zero to 200 members within such a short amount of time. I've been doing a lot of community things as well here in Yokohama, and it's really hard. It's super duper duper hard to like get people together and, to build a community from scratch. But if you stay consistent, like you're saying, it makes it a lot easier because people will tell their friends about it and then they'll be like, oh, okay, I'll just get the next event and stuff like that. And it grows organically from there. So,
Yeah.
and the one thing I want to say really is that it's super important to build communities like you did. You started this because you didn't have that knowledge of design that you wanted to, right? So you just were curious and you wanted to connect with other people, right? I feel like people should do that more often, especially in the state of, where we're at right now with regards to technology and how it's actually moving people apart. I think that we should use it to bring people together. Like you're doing these online events, you're doing, like things where you're sharing value to your community and keeping the community connected. From that community, there's probably job offers, there's probably like
Yeah.
new friendships happening, right? Mentoring, like you said. So I'm really very, very happy that you did that because it is so important. Go
About
ahead, Nick.
the job offer, I
Mm.
think the really big, like some company, a lot of members share their company. Not all of the companies good company, like power harassment,
Mm-hmm.
the overtime,
Yep.
and the shady salary,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. All those information I make the list about the really bad company. I make the
Oh.
list don't go to this kind of company. And the
That's good.
name is this, and the
Yeah.
reason is this, why
Mm,
you shouldn't join.
yeah.
So all those information I will share to the members. Then they won't like they can choose by themselves. Okay, maybe I will try, but I know all the information
Hmm.
about what's bad for this company. So maybe the product manager community can also share this kind of
Mm,
information. No tarry to the power harassment company. They
exactly.
shouldn't be forgiven. So very
The
important.
100%, yeah, 100% I agree. That's very useful information. Very, very useful information. So you said that, you want to see this community grow in the next 3 years, right? How do you envision that happening? Are you going to expand to different markets? Are you going to maybe open it up to English speakers as well, Japanese speakers? Like, how do you see it blossoming?
After the members achieve the 300, I will start to cooperate with headhunter and
Mm,
some HR agency to cooperate with them and maybe invite them to do some speech and how to provide the good UI UX designer to them, like a win-win. They can
mm,
have the good designer and I can cooperate with them. So after 300, I think it will be the start to collaborate with different community.
mm,
And also I want to hold the event with other design community. That's how that's what my strategy to expand the
mm.
members.
That's a great opportunity. I used to be a recruiter and a headhunter, so I think that partnering with people like you would be very valuable for recruiters trying to fill UI UX design roles, especially in Japan where it's super competitive. So great idea. And obviously if you can also benefit from this as well as the person who organized this, it's a win-win for everyone, like you said. So, and it keeps you motivated to keep it going, right?
Yeah.
I think it should keep on going. And yeah, that's one way to sustain a community like this. Very cool. So do you have any events coming up or
Oh,
anything?
so because of some reason, my family issue, I need
Mhm.
to stay in Taiwan until end of the July.
Ah, yeah.
So after July, I will have the offline. Of course, I have the online event every month, and I
Hmm.
will have the offline event on September.
Okay.
And yeah, so September I will have the offline event. But the event name of the event, the location, I haven't decided yet. But yeah. You can follow my Instagram, like Japan Design Cloud, and I will release the information from there.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely link that in the description below so everyone can follow you and see when the next event's coming up. So we spoke a lot about UI UX design, the future, of design with AI and stuff like that, and UI UX education. Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you think we should have talked about?
I think the new career path will be the big issue for the graduated
Mm,
student,
hmm.
university student. So yeah, I kind of know there will be a huge difference, but I still consider of that. Maybe in the future when I come up some idea I can share in my
Mm,
community. Yeah, but I
mm.
think there will AI will change a lot, like career path. In the
Uh-huh.
future, I think people will be like multiple task. Like you can not have only one skill. You need to
Mm.
have like some of PM skill, some of designer skill, some of like even the engineer skill because AI can do all of this. Yeah.
Yeah, I think being a generalist, you're right. A jack of all trades with AI being able to do many things will potentially be a future position. All right. So, Liang, we have a closing tradition where the last person left a question for you, and you'll leave a question for the next guest. Okay? Are you ready for your question?
Yeah, sure.
All right, excellent.
When
Your question is, and this is on the topic of AI. What would you want the AI never to be able to do?
Wow.
It can do everything now,
Ooh.
right? But
Yeah, yeah.
what, and it's progressing very rapidly, right? But what is something or some things that you would never want it to be able to do? And this can be very normal or it could be abstract.
Who consider for this question was genius.
Yeah.
Never want AI to do. Like I say, human have the emotion. That's the biggest advantage for human to understand different people from different background, from different culture, from different country. There's a nuance different,
Hmm.
and the human is very complicated, so we can understand those nuance from
Hmm.
different people. And the things I will never want AI to do.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really tough one. Wow, it's tough. It's tough. It's really hard to answer. Okay, I don't want AI to be my partner, maybe.
Yes, that's a good one. Yes.
I don't want AI to be my partner because it's too easy to control.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
We need new idea every day, but nowadays AI just use the exist information and to express themselves
Hmm.
by the information already exists.
Hmm.
There's
Hmm.
no good new idea. So maybe the partner. And this
Okay.
is the really tough question. I need to admit.
Yeah, it is a tough one. Yeah, but I do agree. I don't think that having a life partner is as an AI would be a very good idea. I think that you could just shut it off at any time and
Yeah,
right?
it's too
Like
easy to
what
control.
progress? Yeah, it's too easy to control. There's no challenge, there's no struggle, there's no real love there, right?
Yeah.
It's very one way. Great answer. It finally got it to come out. Now, for you, what question do you have for the next guest?
What do you think about the economic in Japan in the future?
Comics?
What do you think about buying real estate in Japan? What do you think?
Oh,
It will be profits or not? And
oh.
economic will become better and better in Japan, or should we invest Japan's stock and real estate
Oh, the economy in Japan, right?
economic? Yeah,
Okay, yeah, the economic
because it's
situation. Yeah.
yeah, it will affect the people to choose Japan as a living, like for living, or can they make money from Japan? It make
Okay,
a lot of difference. Yeah.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, so why, basically, what do you think of the economic situation in Japan, and why would you choose to live here or not live here? Or do you think
Yeah.
something like that, right? Okay, cool. That's a good question. The declining population, right? The weak yen, these are all things, we need to
Or you
consider.
still choose Japan
Yes,
for
I
the
like
rest of your life?
Hmm. Okay. Interesting. I'm choosing Japan because of different reasons, but yeah, I mean, yes, it's a good question for sure. All right. So, Liang, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you today. I'm going to link down your Instagram for Japan Design Cloud. Is there any other way that people can connect with you?
You can join the Instagram if
Instagram,
yeah, you can follow the Instagram, but if you want to join the Facebook community, you need to meet
speak Mandarin.
three conditions. Like
Okay.
you need to be a UI UX designer, and you need to live in Japan. Also,
Uh,
you need to understand Mandarin. Those
I see.
three conditions. And welcome to join the Facebook community if you want.
Okay, interesting. I don't speak Mandarin, but I do. I will follow your LinkedIn and see your journey through there, and then obviously through your Instagram. So thank you so much, Liang, for coming on. It's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Product Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Spotify, or leave a review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps the channel grow. And if you want to share your PM stories, challenges, struggles, or insights with us on a future episode, please get in touch with us on LinkedIn. We'd love to have you on and keep this conversation going. Until next time, happy building, everyone.